Jackson's not done with Tyrod Taylor. Tyrod Taylor's still a Pro Bowl quarterback in this league. He went to the playoffs as a starting quarterback, didn't win. But when you look at the negatives, it's so easy to look at the negative. He was benched last year for Nate Pearson. I think that's his boy name from Buffalo, who threw 5 picks against the Chargers, I think in the first half. He was benched for that guy. Haven't always shown consistency like he should at times. But there was things in the ball game I think that still you want to see as like Baker Mayfield's handle under center. You want to see Baker Mayfield be more of a game man, not game managed, but still keep the game in certain situations. And I think that's some things that Hugh Jackson's not ready to give Baker Mayfield the full keys yet. And to a degree, I'm coming with Hugh. I think they still take their time with Baker Mayfield. I feel like they won the Super Bowl last night, and I respect that. But this still is a work in progress, And if the Browns look at it from this standpoint, we don't want to keep going through looking for franchise quarterbacks every year in the draft. We want to at least progress and start adding more for this young man. Now, if we're willing to sacrifice our season, I don't think they are, because now they find themselves in the heart of the year, of the division, someplace that they're not accustomed to. But he easily could find himself at 2-1-1 next week against the Oakland Raiders, really find themselves in the heart of the division. So I'm not too sure that they're ready to give up on Tyrod, because he's still got that veteran leadership. I think it's going to take a little time. And I think Cleveland fans, pump your brakes. Don't get upset. I think Baker still got some maturing to do, but he was exciting when he got in that game. I said it on Twitter, and then a random guy tried to tweet at me and said, first thing first, when he got in the game, the team offensively had more life. It did. You can't sit up here and lie and say that the team did not have more life when he got in the game. Like, it's just like the whole stadium just lifted up. Everybody had more life about the game than what they did when Tyrod Taylor was in the game. You heard a lot of boos when Tyrod Taylor was in the game. And like the whole 10 guys that was playing with Baker Mayfield last night all had life. If you ask me, your man tweeted at me talking about is because they're using different packaging. They're using different personnel groupings. Yeah. Let me tell you something, bro. At the end of the day, you could give the man the same tools that the other man was using. But when you just got that swagger like Baker Mayfield got, Baker Mayfield came in, you could tell he came in with a lot of confidence. He looked like he was just having fun. And I think that's what Tyrod Taylor wasn't having out there on the field, was having fun. Ever since he threw that pick last week against Marcus Williams and turned the tide around for the Saints, and the Saints went on potentially to win that ball game, it looked like Tyrod Taylor wasn't straight since. Now, granted, he did throw that bomb in the end zone to Antonio Callaway against the Saints to put him in a position to tie, potentially winning. Zane Gonzalez don't miss the field goals. But I'm sorry, I got to be honest. I think that they're not ready to give up on Tyrod Taylor yet, because he's still got that veteran presence, and I think he's going to help this team stay in the thick of things in the AFC North. He's going to really help. Now, I think expectations starting to get a little higher. Now, I think I said this before. This is the team that's not going to go winless, and they're not. With the Steelers being in an abyss right now, they could find themselves in a good position. Real. If the Steelers lose Monday night, they could find themselves going into Week 4 with a lot more confidence. Like, okay, we could really make some noise against Oakland. Pay attention to what everybody else is doing, but let's just take it one game at a time. So let's talk about last night's game. So Mayfield went 17 for 23. That's really good. 201. No touchdowns, no interceptions. He did catch a 2-point conversion catch. And like I said, Tyrod Taylor went 4 for 14, 19 yards. No touchdowns, no interceptions as well. Let's look at the Jets. Sam Darnold threw 2 costly picks at the end of the game. 15 to 31. 169, 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He was sacked 2 times on the day. But now Powell, he has 14 rushes, 73 yards, no touchdown. Isaiah Crowell had 16 carries, 34 yards, and 2 touchdowns. The Jets came out with so much energy, like they did not want the Browns to beat them. And, I say this all the time, low-key, I am a Jet fan. I was watching and I was saying, like, the Jets defense had so much energy, high energy when they had Tyrod Taylor in there. And, like, they did not have the answer when Baker Mayfield was in. Like Baker Mayfield, I saw when he made the jet defender miss when he had a sack, kept moving his feet, kept making his feet turn. These are the things I think teams going to game plan around Mayfield going forward. But I'm very impressed what he was able to do. He got the team his win. Then the thicker things in the AFC North. So shout out to Baker Mayfield. Shout out to the Cleveland Browns. Shout out to the defense. I think the defense is what's going to keep them around for years to come. And I think if Mayfield can get better, because eventually he's going to have the keys to the franchise. I ain't think I'm ready to give it to him yet. But you keep adding pieces to that defense. Cleveland, and then, you got Jarvis Landry, you got Antonio Callaway. You could probably use another receiver, possibly. You got Carlos Hyde, who's a monster. You're gonna have to add some help on the offensive line. I think that's a major problem. It's help on the offensive line. But Cleveland have potentially a team that can overtake the AFC North. And I'm saying that now because when you look where the AFC North is at right now, with Pittsburgh having all these divas, when you have Baltimore, who's ready to start potentially thinking about the future, and Cincinnati, who's still snake bitten when it comes down to winning playoff games. Granted they 2-0, but this is a team that don't have no playoff success under Marvin Lewis. Cleveland is putting themselves in a good spot for years to come. Years to come. And I think this is going to be an interesting story for the rest of the year. Regardless if they come close to the playoffs or not, I think watching the relationship between Tyrod Taylor and Baker Mayfield is going to be interesting this year too. How much more they're going to be balanced between the two, because I think they are going to run a 2-quarterback system this year. It just got to happen. I don't think they're going to be able to overcome just one guy. It's going to have to be a 2-quarterback system. I think Hugh Jackson like both, and I don't think Hugh's ready to give Baker the full keys yet, unless they hit a part in the middle of the year when there's a big game. And I think it's going to be a division game, and Baker Mayfield's just in there with the hot hand. I think there's going to be a time that's when he's going to fully just give him the keys to the franchise and say, let's roll with you, brother. But right now, after coming off the bench, being the savior, to me, he saved the game, because Tyrod Taylor would have got the loss, but he saved the game like a regular pitcher, I think they're going to still continue to work on him, give him more reps at practice, be ready to go in. But I think him and Tyrod are going to split next week against Oakland. And even if he go against Oakland and he balls, I think that's when Cleveland going to make the decision to just roll with him, if you ask me. All right. Last segment, and we're going to talk about the top games of the weekend. Saints, Falcons. Got to talk about my who that's Saints. 16-9 under the Sean Payton era. That's how many times they have beaten the Atlanta Falcons. Now, the problem is the Saints haven't won in Atlanta since January 3rd, 2016. That was the last time the Saints got a win in Atlanta. So the Saints on a losing streak, beating Atlanta at Atlanta. So kind of interesting to see what that is. Both teams got 6 division titles. Both got NFC championship. The Saints got 1. Atlanta got 2. And the Saints the only one to have a Super Bowl. Atlanta leads the series 52-46 all time as we speak. So what to expect from this ball game this weekend? Let me tell you something. And, I will go through all the injury reports. I ain't got to talk about what's misunderstood to be a strain. Y'all, let me tell you something. If y'all a Saints fan, y'all a Falcon fan, y'all already know what's at hand. Injuries or no injuries. Put it to you like this, Jack. I think this game is more of a must-win for the Saints than what it is for the Falcons. Because at the end of the day, the Falcons find themselves 1-0 in the division. The Saints are already behind the sticks at 0-1, losing to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers week 1. So I think this is more of a must-win for New Orleans than what it is for Atlanta. But at the same time, Atlanta need to stay ahead of the sticks as well if they want to put themselves to be in the lead for the division. Especially if Tampa Bay cools off a little bit. I would like to see what they're going to do as well. But if New Orleans can come out with a win, and you're still missing half your offense. Cam Meredith coming on slowly, they say. Mark Ingram not going to be able to come back till the Monday nighter against the Redskins, who's really missed heavily right now. I think the Saints could still find a way to weather this game, find themselves 1-1 in the division, then go to New York, who's been struggling as well, and then get Mark Ingram back when they get play in Washington. I think the Saints put themselves in a great predicament to be back in running the sticks in the division. And I think Atlanta need this just as bad as well because, they got a lot to overcome. They don't have the right pieces on defense. Neal's out, Jones out. Devontae Freeman not playing, but they got Tevin Coleman, who's a workhorse back there. So, you still can't take no plays off. I think if you could show that you could come beat your division rival at home, showing a lot that we here to play. We here to play. We want to win. We want to beat the division champs from last year. We want to be where they at, and they want to be where they at. They want to come to our house and host up a Super Bowl trophy in our house, and we don't want that to happen. So I think this game means a lot to both teams early. I know it's only week 3, but it's mean a lot to both teams early. Now the Saints are, I think, a 3-point underdog in this ball game, if you ask me. But I think New Orleans can win this game. Yeah, I think we're going to see a complete football game from both teams on both sides of the ball. I think defense going to be a little bit better. I think they know they cannot give up the big plays against Atlanta because Atlanta got a lot of people with Sanu, Calvin Ridley, and Julio Jones still at the receiver position. Also, they know that they missing a lot of pieces on defense. So I think it's going to be more of a complete game on both sides. Tommy Lee Lewis is out. I think Alvin Kamara going to return some punts, I believe. Or Ted Ginn, one of the two, probably one of the two can probably return punts. This is big for both franchises right now. Early in the season, when these two teams play early, you see them more in the mid of the season. Last year, we didn't see Atlanta till December. So it was like crazy. We didn't see the Falcons till December. Just like this year, we're not going to see Carolina till the last quarter of the year. So I'm interested to see what's going to happen with the Saints and the Falcons. I got the Saints winning. I really do. I think the Saints are going to take advantage of their injuries that they have on defense, and they're going to match up with them and cause Atlanta to have some problems. I would love to see New Orleans run the football effectively. If they run the football effectively, there's no way I see New Orleans losing this game. I could see this New Orleans win this game by 14 points if they run the football effectively. Something that they did not been doing the last 2 weeks. They didn't do it well against Tampa Bay. They didn't do it well against the Browns. But I would love to see them turn around this week and run the football with a true effective role to kind of punch them in the mouth and beat a dog while they're down. If they can do that for the next 2 weeks and survive when Mark Ingram comes back, I think I feel good about the rest of the season going forward. But we have to wait and see. I'm interested to see. We're going to talk a lot about that after Sunday, win or lose. I always do. I'm never going to turn my team down. And lastly but not least, let's talk about Seahawks, Cowboys. Seahawks found themselves behind the sticks. They haven't been looking too good. 0-2 to start the year. Cowboys found themselves at 1-1. I have to say this is definitely a must-win for the Seattle Seahawks to keep their season alive. If they find themselves at 0-3, they're definitely about to look at Ed Oliver on defense, or they need some offensive tackle help. So this is kind of big for Seattle. This is an unstrange territory for the Seattle Seahawks. People don't fear that defense like they used to anymore. So, I would love to see Dak Prescott have a come-out game. Sling that ball around a little bit. So, but I think Dallas win this game probably about 10 points. I think it's going to be close, but I think it's going to win by 10. Chiefs, 49ers, Pat Mahomes versus Jimmy G. That's going to be a good matchup. Chiefs going to be at home. I got the Chiefs winning at least by 17 points. I don't think that San Francisco going to be able to keep up with the hot hand right now. Lions, Pats. Matt Patricia going to take on his former team with the New England Patriots. So Matt Patricia finds himself right now 0-2 as well. Then Tom Brady coming off that hard loss against the Jacksonville Jaguars this past weekend. I don't see the Lions having a chance. I think they win this game by 21. The Patriots, I think poor Matt Patricia still going to be looking for his first win in the NFL. He's going to find himself at 0-3. And my last big matchups of the weekend will be Rams-Chargers, the Super Bowl game of L.A., as I call it. A lot of people hoping that you can have an L.A. Super Bowl this season. Chargers versus Rams. That would be kind of cool. The Battle of L.A. When you think about L.A. right now, who is the best team in L.A.? Could it be the Dodgers? Could it be the Chargers? Could it be the Rams? Could it be the Kings? Could it be the Lakers? Could it be the Clippers? Could it be the Angels? Not the Angels. But let's just be honest. Could it be the Lakers, the Chargers, the Rams, the Kings, and the Dodgers? Yeah, I think they got an L.A. team. I think the Galaxy's pretty good too, I believe. I don't really follow them too much. Ask me if you really ask me, I think star potential. I say Rams, Lakers, Dodgers, Chargers.